Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily English Loop. I'm Alex.
And I'm Lisa. Today, we're talking about sports and exercise and how to talk about them in simple, natural English.
Yes, this is a very common topic in daily life. People ask things like, do you play any sports? How do you stay active? Or what do you do for exercise?
And those questions sound easy, but many English learners are not sure how to answer them naturally.
Exactly. Maybe you know the words running or tennis, but you are not sure how to build a full answer.
So, in this episode, we're going to make that easier. We'll talk about sports we play, sports we watch, easy exercise for beginners, and useful words you can use in real conversations.
And we'll keep everything simple, clear, and beginner-friendly.
So, Alex, let's start with a basic question. Are you a sporty person?
I think I am, but maybe not in a super competitive way. I like to stay active, but I don't need to win anything.
I know what you mean. Some people love competition. Other people just want to move, feel good, and stay healthy.
Right. What about you?
I'm the same. I enjoy exercise, but I don't really care about winning. I just want to enjoy it.
That's a good point. For many people, sports and exercise are not about being the best. They are about feeling better, having more energy, and taking care of your body.
Yes, and I think that's important for our listeners too. You do not need to be a professional athlete to talk about sports in English.
Exactly. You just need some useful words and some real examples from your life.
Okay, then let's get personal. What kind of exercise do you actually enjoy, Alex?
Boxing.
Really? That sounds intense.
It is intense, but that's one reason I like it. It helps me focus, and it's a great way to release stress.
Do you actually fight people?
No, not really. I mostly do boxing workouts. I hit the heavy bag, I jump rope, and I do footwork drills.
That sounds like a full-body workout.
It really is. Your arms work, your legs work, your core works, and your brain works too.
Your brain?
Yes, because boxing is not only about strength, you also need timing, rhythm, balance, and concentration.
That makes sense. So it's physical, but also mental.
Exactly, and that's why I enjoy it so much. After a long day, I can go to the gym and focus on one thing.
I can understand that. It sounds like a good way to clear your mind.
It is, and that's a useful phrase, by the way. If something helps you clear your mind, it helps you relax and forget your stress for a while.
Good phrase. My favorite activity is very different from boxing.
Let me guess, something a little calmer?
Yes, I love badminton.
That fits you.
Why does everyone say that?
Because badminton is quick, fun, and energetic, but it also feels friendly. That feels very you.
I'll accept that. Yes, I really enjoy badminton. I play with my brother on Sunday mornings.
That sounds like a nice routine.
It is. We don't play too seriously, but we do move a lot. And honestly, badminton is harder than people think.
I agree. From the outside, it can look light and easy.
But once you start playing, you realize how fast it is. You have to move quickly, react quickly, and hit the shuttlecock at the right time.
Great word there, shuttlecock.
Yes, in badminton, the thing you hit is called a shuttlecock.
And the thing you hold is called a racket.
Right. So, listeners, you can say, I hold the racket, or I hit the shuttlecock over the net.
Very natural examples.
And another thing I like about badminton is that it doesn't feel boring. You are always moving.
That matters a lot. If an activity feels fun, you are more likely to do it regularly.
Exactly. And that's probably true for learning English, too.
Definitely. If you enjoy the process, you stay consistent.
Speaking of consistency, do you think people need to exercise every day?
Every day? Maybe not, but I think it helps to move your body regularly.
I agree. Some people hear the word exercise and imagine a very hard workout every single day.
Yes, but exercise does not always mean pain and suffering.
Thank you for saying that.
It can be simple. A walk counts. Stretching counts. Dancing in your kitchen counts.
That is my kind of exercise.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm serious, though. Sometimes people think exercise only matters if it looks impressive.
That's true.
But a lot of healthy habits are actually very simple.
I completely agree. Walking is one of the best examples.
Yes, walking is underrated.
Very underrated. If someone is just starting, walking is a great place to begin.
No special skills, no expensive equipment, and almost no pressure.
Exactly. You just need comfortable shoes and a little time.
And if you want a little more challenge, you can turn your walk into a jog.
Good word, jog.
Yes, a jog is a slow, comfortable run. Not too fast, not too intense.
So if someone says, I go for a jog in the morning, they mean they run at an easy pace.
That phrase is very common in everyday English.
It really is. Okay, let's talk about sports people like to watch, because that is also a big part of this topic.
Yes, watching sports and playing sports are not always the same thing.
Very true. There are many sports I enjoy watching, but I would never want to try them myself.
Same here. My favorite sport to watch is gymnastics.
That's a good one.
I love it because it's beautiful, but also incredible. The athletes are so strong, so flexible, and so controlled.
Flexible is another very useful word.
Yes, if someone is flexible, their body can bend and move easily.
And gymnasts make difficult things look graceful.
Exactly. They make it look easy, even though we know it is not easy at all.
That always impresses me. You watch them spin, jump, and land perfectly, and then you remember that you hurt your back just reaching for your bag this morning.
Why are you describing my life so accurately?
Because we are not gymnasts.
Clearly not.
I enjoy watching gymnastics for the same reason I enjoy watching great dancers. I admire the control.
That's a good word too. Control.
Yes, not just power, but control.
My other reason for liking gymnastics is that it feels exciting, but also elegant.
That's true. There's beauty in it.
What about you? What is your favorite sport to watch?
Formula One.
Of course.
You sound like you expected that.
I did. It feels very on brand for you.
I'll take that. Yes, I love Formula One. I like the speed, but I also like the strategy.
I think that surprises some people. If they don't follow racing, they might think it is just fast cars going around a track.
Exactly, but there is much more to it. There's planning, timing, teamwork, and quick decision-making.
So it's not only physical skill, it's also mental skill.
Definitely. The drivers and the teams are always making decisions under pressure.
Great phrase, under pressure.
Yes, if you do something under pressure, you do it in a stressful situation when fast decisions really matter.
That's useful not just for sports, but for work and life too.
Very true.
I enjoy watching racing sometimes, but I know I would be terrible at it.
Same. I enjoy watching from a safe, quiet sofa.
That is the best seat.
Absolutely.
Now let's move to a different kind of activity. Not all exercise is loud or competitive.
Yes, some of the best forms of exercise are calm.
My favorite calm activity is hiking.
I can see that.
I love hiking because it gives me two things at the same time, movement and peace.
That's nicely said.
Thank you. When I hike, I can walk for a long time, breathe fresh air, and take a break from screams and noise.
That sounds wonderful.
It really is. I usually choose forest trails because I like trees, shade, and quiet places.
Do you ever hike on mountains?
Sometimes, but not too often. Mountains are beautiful, but they can be more tiring.
That makes sense. Hiking is great because it can be easy or difficult depending on the trail.
Exactly. And I think it's good for beginners too. You can start with a short, easy trail.
And again, it doesn't feel like a chore.
Right. It feels like an experience.
That is one reason people stick with it. They enjoy the process.
What about you? What do you do when you want exercise without too much noise or pressure?
I really like kayaking.
I've always wanted to try that.
You should. It's peaceful, but it still gives your body a workout.
Explain it for our listeners.
Sure. In kayaking, you sit in a small boat called a kayak, and you use a paddle to move through the water.
There's that word again, paddle.
Yes, a paddle is what you use to move a kayak or canoe.
It looks relaxing in pictures.
It often is relaxing, especially on calm water, but after a while, your arms and shoulders definitely feel the work.
So, calm does not mean easy.
Exactly. Gentle exercise can still be effective.
I like that. Some people think exercise only counts if you feel exhausted after.
But that's not true. A good activity is one you can actually keep doing.
Yes, long-term habits matter more than one dramatic workout.
I completely agree.
Okay, now let's talk about something I personally find a little scary, winter sports.
Ah, yes, the season of cold faces and falling down.
Exactly. I like snow when I am indoors with a blanket and a warm drink.
That is the correct way to enjoy snow.
Thank you.
Have you ever tried skiing or snowboarding?
No, and I'm not in a hurry.
I tried snowboarding once.
How did it go?
Badly.
Just badly?
Very badly. I fell again and again. I was cold, confused, and not at all graceful.
That sounds like my worst dream.
I think you mean worst nightmare.
Yes, thank you. Worst nightmare.
See, even in sports conversations, we can learn English.
Always.
But yes, snowboarding was not for me. I'll happily watch other people do it.
Same. Some sports are more fun to admire than to attempt.
Definitely.
Here's a fun question. Is there any sport that you still do not understand when you watch it?
Curling.
Good answer.
I respect it. I know it takes skill, but every time I watch it, I still feel a little confused.
The sweeping is the part that gets me.
Same. Everyone looks so serious, and I'm just trying to understand the rules.
My confusing sport is cricket.
Also fair.
I know millions of people love cricket, and I'm sure it is exciting when you understand it, but when I watch it, I get lost very quickly.
That gives listeners a useful phrase. I get lost.
Yes, if you say, I get lost when I watch cricket, it means you become confused.
Another natural phrase is, I don't really understand the rules.
Very useful, because sometimes in conversations, you do not need to pretend you know everything.
Exactly. You can be honest.
Okay, before we finish, let's help our listeners with one more practical question. What should a beginner do if they want to start exercising?
My first advice is simple. Start small.
I love that advice.
You do not need to join an expensive gym tomorrow. You do not need to buy fancy clothes. You do not need a perfect plan.
You just need a simple first step.
Exactly. Start with walking, stretching, or a short jog.
Or even 10 minutes of movement at home.
Yes, 10 minutes is better than 0.
And I think people should choose something they do not hate.
That is excellent advice.
Really, if you hate running, maybe don't start with running.
Yes, find something you can enjoy, or at least something you can tolerate.
walking with music, yoga at home, dancing, cycling, a short hike, a beginner workout video. There are many options.
And yoga is another great one.
I like yoga because it helps with strength, flexibility, and balance.
And it also helps you slow down mentally.
That matters a lot, especially for people who sit at a desk all day.
Absolutely. If you sit for many hours, a little stretching can make a huge difference.
Another useful phrase, make a huge difference.
Yes, it means something creates a strong or noticeable improvement.
So even a small habit can make a huge difference over time.
Exactly. And I think that is the main message of today's episode.
You do not need to be extreme.
You do not need to be perfect.
You do not need to be the best.
You just need to move a little more and find ways to talk about it in English.
That's a good ending line.
Thank you. I worked hard on it.
I can tell.
So today, we talked about sports we play, like boxing and badminton.
We talked about sports we enjoy watching, like gymnastics and Formula One.
We also talked about calm activities, like hiking and kayaking.
And we talked about beginner-friendly exercise like walking, jogging, stretching, and yoga.
Along the way, we learned useful words and phrases like racket, shuttlecock, paddle, flexible, under pressure, get lost, clear your mind, and start small.
These are all expressions you can really use in daily conversation.
So now, we want to hear from you.
What is your favorite sport or exercise?
Do you like to play it, do it, or just watch it?
And if you are just getting started, what is one simple activity you want to try?
Tell us in the comments.
And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Daily English Loop.
Thanks for spending this time with us today.
Keep practicing your English.
And keep moving your body.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye!